I feel like something that I've realized from my experience is that it's super like valuable and sometimes like really crucial to your mental health to have like a higher power, or to like be connected spiritually to like something that is bigger than your problems and like bigger than your everyday experience. I think that there's a lot of value in like sanity, pretty much, that can come from simply feeling like you're guided beyond your own, almost like your own mundane existence, beyond your own self. Having this feeling as if the things that you experience in your life are guided and they're protected and they're meant to be. I really value the phrase rejection is divine protection, because it's what this basically implies is that when you feel like you are not getting what you want in life, it's for a higher purpose, and that higher purpose has your best self in mind. I think it's really like important to just like honor the idea that the universe, or whatever you believe that life is and whatever's happening, is set to be in a perfect order, and that also it's really positive, and that even though we all go through suffering and trials and etc., a lot of suffering, it's really helped me to just like kind of like feel as if all of the suffering that I went through was for some sort of purpose. And I feel this is the only way to achieve that within your life, is to especially if you have like a really, immense suffering, like, or you suffer from like mental illness. I feel like a way to like feel as if it's okay that that's happening is to like connect to like this feeling as if there is something precious and sacred about life overall. Because when I feel like when you have like a sense of higher power, it gives you a sense that life can be a lot more like, just a lot more free from the chains of like so much seriousness, and like everything is so serious. Because when things become very serious, it can be almost sometimes like unbearable at points to kind of like accept a lot of things that we may go through. It helps so much to have a sense of higher power, or to have some sort of spirituality, or even to be atheist and like maybe not believe in any sort of spiritual being or entity, or have any spiritual beliefs, or feel connected to maybe a god or whatever, but to simply feel connected to something bigger than yourself, even if it's like nature. I know that nature, for a lot, there's not like a helicopter, it's really loud, and I hope you can hear me. There's like often like so much value in just like being in nature, because nature like opens you up to this feeling that like there is something out there that is maybe creating life, and that something out there has everyone's best interest in mind, because like when you're in nature, you can like just see this beautiful creation that's not coming from any sort of man-made thing. It's not really coming from anywhere, but it's natural. And then you want to like think about that source. What is that source? Because it's really out of touch. Like, humans aren't doing this. There's something out there creating something, and at the end of the day, ultimately, that something knows what it's doing. I also feel like having a sense of higher power gives you almost this relief in knowing that you can have a lot less anxiety about how things are supposed to be, how things have been, and how things will be. Because when you have a sense of higher power, it's like, well, I'm being guided by something that is out of my reach, but that I can trust, and like I can put my faith in. And therefore it gives you a lot more mental freedom, because you don't have to always be so led by fear of things that have happened, things that are, and things that will happen. You can have faith. I think that faith is the opposite of fear. I think that I've noticed that in like the deepest times of suffering, even when I go through like deep things like that are really maybe painful in my life, it's always been that I have felt that the hardest shit that I've gone through, I can still see that at the end of the day, I'm not a victim of anything that ever happens. And everything that happened was meant to guide me to even higher states of being, to even more love, to even more feelings of purity and feelings of almost like a knowing. And I feel like the only way I was able to take these types of things from any sort of suffering or things that I've gone through that were painful was simply because I had trust that it happened with a divine order. And the way that I was able to experience like this feeling of like, oh, this is like divine actually, like even though it's painful, like in the end it was meant for something that I can't even fathom, because it's great, it's greater than me, but it's also it's positive, and it does like love me. Like what I'm being guided by, what I'm experiencing ultimately was love, even if it's a very brutal form of love. And the only way I can keep that sort of mindset has been for me was like relying on some sort of sense of higher power. So like I do like meditation, like journaling, and like sure, like I do all of that stuff, but mainly at the end of the day, like I do a lot of praying. And when I pray, I feel as if I can relieve my burdens onto something, just this sense. It's a sense of something that is guiding me, and like something that's keeping me rooted in this experience of life. And when I am rooted, I tend to find that I can experience life with more radicalness, more openness, and more just peace. I think that a lot of people just search for peace. I think that most human beings, what they genuinely want at the end of the day is not even happiness, because I feel as if happiness is a temporary emotion that we have, and it's based off circumstances. But I feel like genuine peace is like this feeling of like, I'm firm in this groundedness in life, and my heart is open because I know that whatever is happening is solely for a purpose, and it has to, at the end of the day, be a good purpose. It's like this feeling that the universe has your best interest in mind at like all times. And obviously it's so hard to feel this way, and we can get so stuck in like our pettiness and like our problems and our anxieties and our fears, and especially just due to the, you know, how human culture kind of like operates. It's sometimes hard to feel as if things that are happening on an everyday basis have some sort of meaning. It can be extremely hard to feel like we have a purpose, but that's like where that sense of higher power comes in. And also when you're connected to a sense of higher power, it gives you a sense of power. It gives you the sense of like, yeah, actually I have a purpose. Life can be your purpose. I've searched like dozens of times, what's the meaning of life? What's my purpose? And it's something I think about every day still, but like ultimately having a sense of higher power opens this door where it's like, also you can just feel purpose in living. Like you can just feel like there's purpose in just simply existing and like going through every trial, going through every high, having relationships, waking up in the morning, like all these mundane things that we do. You can feel as if actually these things have purpose, because I simply know that they're happening for some sort of meaning. They're happening for some sort of reason. I think a lot about how it's well to perceive this is to think like how like we literally don't ask to be alive. Like we literally just birth one day and we're just here, and we don't even get a fucking like rule book. Like we're like, oh, I just have to like, there's a helicopter again. Like we don't get a rule book to life. Like we don't get a handbook, and so we're just kind of forced to like, sorry that helicopter is so loud. So we're just kind of forced to like deal with life. And obviously this is something that can cause in general like a lot of pain, just coupled with the toxicity of our family dysfunction of society, dysfunction of family systems, the burdens that our parents put on us and our families put on us, and like our school puts on us, like all of these things. It can just be extremely like enlightening to one's own psychological like well-being to just like keep in mind at the back of your head that there is something going on here that is so beyond every single one of your problems.